Hello everyone, I am Taureor and welcome to Let's Play Stellaris, the new 4X game from the Paradox Development Studio. And we're going to start a new game as the Empire of the Space Turtles, the Shell. And now, if this is familiar to some of you, that is because I had the pleasure of being invited to the Paradox multiplayer event of Stellaris and to play with such people as Quill and Roomba and the blog themselves. And that is what I played. I was the Shell. It was the big blue empire on the top of the galaxy, top left corner. So yeah, I had great fun, it was amazing, and now I have recreated this in single player, this particular empire, and we're going to play a campaign. So, I will show you the race creation in a separate video. I'll make a whole tutorial about creating your perfect race. For now, let me just tell you what the space turtles are like. They're individualists, and they don't like, imposing your thoughts on others. They don't like slavery, and they are materialists. They believe in the freedom of everyone from any oppression. So there will be no slavery in our empire. We are an aquatic race, obviously, and the design of our ships and cities reflects that. We're also thrifty and industrious. We're very good with money and minerals. But we had, those are basically genetic traits. You can pick some good ones and some bad ones to balance them out. We're also weak. That is explained by the fact that we actually lived underwater for a very long time. And now that we are on land, our muscles are not as strong as land species. And we're sedentary. We don't like to move. Which sort of fits a turtle, doesn't it? Yeah, we move very slowly. So we don't migrate too much to other planets. We migrate in water in our own world, but that's it. And okay, let's start the game. We're more or less recreating the multiplayer game in single player, so let's make some conditions. The galaxy will be huge, and there were about 20 players in the multiplayer game, and a couple of AIs, so let's go with maybe like 28. I don't remember how many AIs we had. Also, I'm going to play with Ironman and allow any FTL method. I really do like Ironman from EU4, and I think I'm going to push that to Stellaris as well. Okay, let's start the game. And as many of you are just getting acquainted with it, although Quill did release tons of video already, doesn't it? Didn't he? I'm going to explain basically everything I'm doing. So this is our starting world. This is our planetary governor. We also have an empire leader. This is basically us. Oh, cool. We have bonus happiness and money. That's very good. And this is our planet. This is our population. All of them have their own jobs. They're doing something. Well, actually, I can see we have a tile with minerals that is not being worked. Minerals are very important early on. So what I'm going to do is move this tile here. This is a pop. A pop represents some people. And now that we are happy, because of the leader, we actually get plus 10% to production here, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to build a mining network here to increase our mineral production. Now, what we need to do is have a look at our empire. This is our homeworld, and those are within our borders because they're so close to us. And this is the galaxy. Now, those little names here represent nebulas, and they will be of particular interest to us because nebulas are amazing. If you start in a nebula, you basically are overpowered from the start because there's tons of resources there. And so we're going to try to get to the nebula quickly. Alright, I'm going to build a science ship, but make sure to remember this is not the universally best opening. Because it costs influence. It is a good opening if you have 3 or more other planets in your initial borders, because then you need lots of science ships to survey them quickly. Well, 2 is enough. But if you only started with like 1 system in your borders, then you don't want to build a science ship. You will want to save up that influence to get a frontier outpost going, which is basically a starbase that expands your borders, but costs 200 influence. We won't have that problem because we have lots of planets inside, so I'm going to make another science ship. And science ship costs basically 50 influence because you have to staff it with a scientist. And a scientist costs that. Okay, we have 3 scientists already. We will need 1 more for the science ship. So I'm going to recruit them now and see what we can get. If we could get a Spark of Genius guy, I would take that. That's basically plus 10% research. And assign him to one of those research stations. And then send a different one to do the surveying in a science ship. But this is also quite good. This guy will study anomalies that we can find and will be better at it. So let's recruit him for the science ship right now so we don't forget. And as you see, it costs us 50 influence. Influence is basically the equivalent of Monarch points from Europa Universalis. Okay, now we have to choose our research. There are 3 types of research: physics, society, and engineering. And when I click each of them, I get some options. And they're basically random cards that we can get. As you can see here, we have selected the Science Directorate government type. That gives us plus 1 research alternative, which means we get 4 of those instead of 3. It's actually very good. Because it gives us a lot of flexibility. For example, I can choose reactors for our ships, physics labs, deflectors, or a solar panel network, which is basically what we build on our starbase to give us more energy. Now, I'm not going to focus on military early on, and none of those technologies are like super amazing. Well, they're all very good, but they're not obvious picks. Like you will see in a moment, you can get obvious picks. I'm going to actually select solar panel networks, because economy will be our first priority. Now, society. This is the most important early on, and you always want to go with the colony ship first. I can't really see a situation in which this will not be your priority. Although this is very good as well, monthly influence. And you only get 3 initially, you would get 4 with that. I'm going to select this as my second research if I get that card randomly, unless we get something better. But for now, it is going to be colony ship because it's just the best. And finally, engineering. Those are mostly military technologies and economy with minerals. Again, none of them are super amazing. This one is pretty good, fusion missiles. But this is a military thing, and I want to focus on the economy first. Engineering facility is research. This makes our ships faster, and this is a defense platform technology which lets us build defensive structures. I think I'm going with the fusion missiles, because I do think missile weapons would be good to have, although torpedoes might actually be better. Torpedoes might actually be better. Maybe I should forfeit the missiles for now. Level 2, let me just see that. We can see research technologies, right. So I can compare it to the nuclear missiles that we have. This is 1.8 average damage per second, and this is 209 average damage per second. It is not a big difference. I mean, it is a significant one. But I think I want to go for maybe torpedoes. I mean, I would have researched this, but the cost of the technology is double. And I want to get some more alternatives in early on. So I think I'm actually going with maybe engineering facility. Yeah, I'm not going to build oh crap, I chose defense platform. Yeah, I'm not going to build any defense platforms early on. We can't spare the minerals for that. Now I'm going to select my science ship and tell it to survey the system. And now we have a starting fleet of 3 corvettes. I should actually show you the ships, shouldn't I? Right, this is the constructor ship. Quite pretty. This is the science ship. And here we have our corvettes, which are the weakest military vessels that you can have. The strongest being battleships. And I'll talk about military technologies more when we get the option to research a better starport. And they are... Generally this is called avian design, but I think it's very aquatic, so fitting the turtles. Okay. Let's go back to the map. And unpause the game. For the first time. I'll let it run. Oh no, you know what, I'll pause it again. I'm going to show you a strategy that I use to expand early in the multiplayer, and that I think is very viable. You just separate your initial fleets, And what you do is send them out not to explore stuff, but just to map. Because you need a science ship to actually explore it thoroughly. But you can map the stars and see where your enemies are, more or less, and see what kinds of planets there are in the area. So this way you can actually plan your early expansion in a very convenient way. Oops, not through here, no. Yeah, I'm going to send all the ships separately, each in a different direction. Oh, this is actually maybe too far. So that we can map as much as possible early on and plan accordingly when it comes to our expansion. Okay, so we have this and this. And you will go over here. A little bit around and map the nebula, because this is very important to us, that you actually do map the nebula, since nebulas are very resource rich, and I will want to expand there as soon as possible. That will most probably provide us with lots of mineral energy and research. Actually, you can just keep going after that. Yeah, maybe you can even reach the other nebula. I don't have to stop. I mean, there is a limit to the number of orders you can give, but it's like 40 or 50 or 70, something like that. Okay, this is a large chain of commands, but they can do it. I believe in them. Now, let's unpause and see how our ships do. Actually, you know what? I will increase the speed. This game is a typical pausable game, because you do want to not be rushing while you give your orders. Okay, we're mapping the system. If we find any minerals, I will want to build mining stations on them. But if we find energy, for example, or science resources, okay, we have found some aliens. We're not going to engage them. We're not going to fight them or anything. This is obviously a crystalline entity, which is pretty cool, but we don't want to engage them in any way. I'm going to assign a scientist to our new science ship and send them. Oh, there's an ocean world here, perfect. We have ocean preference, so we can actually colonize it quite early. I'm going to send this ship to survey that system. If there's some resources, we can start building mining stations there. And our military ships are actually surveying stuff. Yeah, we have found more aliens, but we really don't care. Let's just have a look. Oh, this is 3 space amoebas, which are very dangerous. Let's look at our science ship explore stuff. Yeah, it flies to a planet, scans it, and then we know if there's, for example, some minerals on it. And if so, then we can build a mining station, which is basically my highest priority in the early game. We want to get as many minerals as possible. What hostile fleet? Oh, it's not necessarily hostile, it's neutral. I couldn't see it in time. We have run away. Also, make sure that you turn this off. Details map mode. It shows you, for example, those little things that tell you what planets are in a sector or in a star system, which is tremendously useful. Okay, so far we haven't found any resources. That is not very good, and there's some minerals. Okay, so you can do it from the sector screen, build mining stations, and here it goes. It will automatically build mining stations on everything, or you can just select a planet and select it from here. If there's multiple and you want to build multiple, you can do it from this screen. Now, a construction ship will go there. Just focus on the construction ship. We have chosen hyperspace, so it will... there are 3 FTL methods. I will go over them in the race creation video. But we have basically told them to jump there and construct a mining station, which will provide us with bonus minerals, which are very important early on. Okay, more alien vessels. Now, I want to build colony ships as soon as possible, but this research will take some time. So what we're going to do is... Oh, and we have found an enemy empire. Let's see what world they prefer. They're on an arid world. We don't know who they are yet. We don't know the details. But we know where they are. So as our borders are like that, their borders will probably be like that, including those 3 systems. So if we wanted to grab any of those, we would have to send our constructor to build a frontier outposts. I'm not sure we really care, because there's no world that we really would want. No Gaia worlds and so on, but maybe we can map some more, and then we find a thing that we would want to keep from them. The frontier outpost is basically a space station that lets us expand our borders without colonizing. And we have found a very interesting planet. Oh, 2 interesting planets in that system. There's an ocean world, another ocean world, and a Gaia world. The Gaia world is amazing because it actually lets us colonize it with 100% habitability with any species. Basically, it fits any species available. Oh, we have found more minerals. A ton more minerals. You know what? Have you already started building it? Yeah, they have already started building it. Never mind then. I wanted to build it here instead because it is a better place to do it. Also, there's some bonus minerals here. I wonder if my mining station will remain in place if I colonize it. We'll see. I'm going to build the mining station anyway. Now, when we get enough minerals for the next one, I will tell them to take care of that. Okay, let's survey this system here, because it also has an ocean world. Although, you know what, if I colonize something early, I will probably want to grab that system here with the Gaia world. I mean, I suppose I can survey it after I survey those within my borders. Let's survey all of this system and then all of this system. And you will survey this later. Then you can start moving on from there. Maybe to the Gaia world, or maybe to the Nebula, we'll see. Although I find this interesting, so let's survey this as well. The Bagrax system.
System survey complete.
We have completed 9 minerals. This is an amazing start. Minerals are very, very important early on. So this is actually going to help us tremendously. It's a pity we didn't find anything in our capital system, but this more than makes up for it. Energy you basically need to not be in a deficit, but minerals you need as many as possible. Okay, we have constructed our first mine, and let's go and construct another immediately. More is better. All the while our military ships are exploring the area. And here's the nebula. Did I actually tell you to go to the nebula? No. And you? No. Oh right, I'll need to designate another party to go and check out the nebula. Because nebulas are amazing. Oh crap, there's an alien empire in the nebula. They're gonna be too powerful. But I can actually steal something from them, I believe. If I get there and colonize it quickly. Yeah. What sort of worlds do you prefer? They prefer... Is that desert worlds? I think I can... This is a tundra world. Okay. I can always get a frontier outpost to steal some resources. Or I can just conquer them. Yeah, I think I'll just conquer them. We'll get a huge army and kill them. Because there's tons of desert worlds here for them to colonize, but none for us. So I think it will be best if we can... Should I colonize? Should I research the anomaly or should I not research the anomaly? Yeah, the anomalies are basically things you can research, and if you succeed, you'll get something fun. If you fail, you get something bad or nothing. So I'm going to change scientists. This is going to send the other science ship to research the anomaly and then return to its duties. This guy has a trait that makes it less likely that he will fail with the anomaly, so he's better at it. Here you can see the failure chance. Research. So he will now fly there and research it. Oh, our constructor ship is idle. What was I thinking? Quickly, construct a mining station. It's a pity we can't get into the nebula. I suppose I could build a frontier outpost, which is basically a space station that pushes your borders, and then compete with them for the nebula. But I think it's gonna be better to just conquer them and have their species, which has desert preference, colonize those lands for us. Maybe even wait for them to colonize them and then conquer them. This way we will get a ton of stuff from the nebula without, having to contest the borders and spending tons of influence on that. The downside is that we will probably get some rebels after we have conquered those people, because they won't want to stay friends with us. Oh, and it is actually enough for the first episode. It is long enough. We're gonna end it here. I hope you are enjoying the series. If you are, as this is the first video in the series, and that does help out a lot, let me know by clicking the like button if you want to, and commenting what you think about it. Any suggestions are welcome. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy it, and I think I'm going to actually do 2 videos on Stellaris a day, so we can expect the next one very soon. Goodbye.